Hello guys, how you doing? Sorry, I was just closing my blinds there because I couldn't see my monitor properly. So in this video, I thought it would be kind of cool if I cleared some space, gathered some resources, and just tried a few different builds to see how well or how easily we can put up different structures. I thought I'd come up with a few new designs and we can sort of see where we go from there, see what the minimum requirement is for something to be considered indoors. To do this, we're going to utilize some seeds that we have. A little bundle of seeds here, some bamboo seeds. They're going to rot next door, but you can see that when we click on them, it indicates that they are currently outside. So that's what we're going to use to indicate whether or not a structure is considered shelter or not. Let's begin with the most basic of basic structures. Let's just have... Now, a large thatch roof is going to take 6 branches and 8 hay. 3 branches and 3 hay. And this is also 3 branches and 3 hay. So I'm going to go for the square wall because it covers a slightly larger... Oh, actually, hang on. 2 branches and 3 hay. So the triangular thatch roof wall is the smallest of all walls. So let's try this. Let's put that down. Actually, let's put that down exactly like that, and we'll put another one next to it, which we shall lean in ever so slightly. If you don't know how to do this, just hold the control key whilst you're putting it down. So, I'm going to go with a bit of that, just to make it look super cool. We're going to go and place a log. There. Slide that in a little bit. Slide that up a little bit. There we go. So that looks pretty realistic. So you can see that one is leaning over, one is not leaning over. So now we'll build storage location. Ah, well, that's interesting. Okay, so the closest I can get to that one is going to be sort of there-ish. And this one, I imagine I can get it right up close to it. So we'll let them start building that. We'll do another one with a square thatch. My suspicion is this will be the one that works. Doesn't help that I've got this flipping great big mound here. I flattened the ground before I did it, shouldn't I? I cleared it of all the trees and such, but I didn't flatten it. Right. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Again, we'll just whack a log here. Just make sure that that's slightly in, slightly down. But do you know, it kind of makes sense from a building perspective that we have it on just one side like that. So we'll try that. Actually, I didn't do anything to chop down any logs, so maybe I'm going to have to chop down a tree first. We should, yeah, I can see I've got no logs. So we'll chop down that tree, we'll chop down this tree. That'll give us a couple of logs, because obviously when you chop down one of these bamboo shoots, all you end up with are sticks, which is great for thatch building, but not great for anything else, really. Look at this bloody great big mound. Dig that out, that's a real pain in the ass. Okay, so come on guys. Quite, I have to admit, it is quite far away from my main base where I'm doing this, and everyone was getting a little bit hungry, so I sort of sent them off to get some food and stuff. For some reason, they're storing all the oranges over there. Don't really know why. Can't be full already. Rots in a few hours inside. That's because it's hot. When it's hot, stuff melts quicker or goes off quicker. In addition, let me just come over here to the resources tab and come down to pumpkins. So here you can dictate whether food gets eaten, planted, crafted into balafons, roasted, or placed as decorations. They won't do any of those things other than eat them without your permission, but other things like pine cones. Can I find pine cones? Come on. Pine cones. They can use them as kiln fuel. Or campfire fuel. They will just grab them and take them. So if you turn those off, they'll stop burning the pine cones. That should be off by default now. But originally, when the game first released, that wasn't the case. Right, so this is a tad annoying. So what we want to do here is we want to say seeds only. So seeds. We'll set this one to seeds. And we haven't put one in here yet, so let's just drop one down. Bonk. Get it as close as we can. Looks like that's going to be where it's going to be okay. I haven't done this before today, so this is an experiment. I will be learning as we do it. This guy doesn't have the building skill, so he's just learning on the job. Which makes his life worth living, let's say. Right, so we have our first one in. So let's try and get... stuff in. We'll say seed movement. Or, there we go. Seed movement. Add stop. So I'm going to say from there to there. And then if you come back in, you can say return to first stop. And then you can add a stop. Say there. Then you can say go back again. And add another stop there. We'll limit this to just all one sapien. Right, so what should happen here is that one sapien... So the sapien here is picking up some seeds. Just coming over here. Now she should put some here, then she should put some here, and then she should put some here. If my theory is accurate. It's the first time I've tried this as well, so I don't really know how well it's going to work. See now, he's taken over the job. She's having a rest. And he should now take seeds to there. That didn't work. I wonder if it's because they swapped sapiens. Yeah. I think this whole root system currently doesn't really work very well. And it definitely needs a bit of work. Oh, you can see what's happened here. The return to aspect has quite literally broken. So he only does that when he's finished, which is quite annoying. So I'll try something else. So pick up the seeds. We take the seeds to there. Then we pick up the seeds and then we put seeds in there. And then we pick up the seeds and then we put seeds in there. Let's try that. Let's see if that does what I want it to do. Return to first stop when done. Sure, why not? I don't think that makes any difference. I don't really see that as a very useful skill or ability. Right, so he's now picking up the seeds and taking them back. Yeah, this is what I thought would happen. So now he's picking up the seeds and he's going back to the beginning. So he's putting them there and then he immediately picks them up. Takes them back to the base. And then he goes there. Okay. Right, let's tweak this a little bit more. So quite slow this as well. This needs fixing. It's a UI issue. So we'll add stop. So he's going to pick seeds up from there. He's going to put them there. Then we want him to go here, pick up the seeds and put seeds there. And we want him to go here, pick up the seeds and put seeds there. Now the fact that I'm having to make that even look that way just sort of highlights how badly this works at the moment. So expect changes. So he's picked up seeds and he's put them in there. And now he's going to go pick up some more seeds and hopefully put them in the next tray. No, he's just going to run around like an idiot, not picking up any seeds, not understanding anything that he's being told. He's going to pick up seeds and he's going to take him to the first one again. Yeah. So, I mean, that just doesn't work at all, does it? It's not very good the way it's implemented. I imagine there are going to be huge changes there. So what we'll do then is we'll say from there to there, then there, then there. We'll see if that works. Because all we want to know is whether or not the seeds are inside. We don't really care where the seeds are or how many there are or anything like that. It's absolutely not doing it, is he? Okay, well, we tried multiple things and it didn't work. So what we're going to have to do is have lots of roots. So we'll minimize this to 1. Stops. So we're going to say put some seeds in there. Probably that. How has that got soil in it? That's so random. Another thing that needs to change is when you put remove all items, once the item has been removed, it needs to untick that box. Because at the moment you have to do that manually, and that's really not good. So we'll add another root. Stops. From there to there. Add root. That stops. From there to there. Oh, pause, because I forgot to set this to 1. I think this should perhaps default to 1, and you can add more if you want them, because that just causes less problems. Right, so anyway, we have almost got seeds in every single... They've just taken all of the seeds, you absolute morons. Excuse me whilst I just fix this. Right, we now have seeds in all 3 sectors. These seeds are considered to be outside, not a surprise. These seeds are considered to be outside. I wasn't sure how that would work. Maybe if I took this pole away, I could move it into the middle and maybe then it would be considered under shelter. These seeds are also considered to be outside. So that is interesting. All right, so the next thing we're going to try and build is a slightly bigger thatched wall. So we'll start off with a thatched wall in a lean-to type style. Like that. And then we'll put some storage underneath as close as possible. Let's put it right in the middle just to see. It is an experiment to see whether or not it gets covered. And we'll move seeds from there to there. And we'll get that built. So whilst that's being built, we'll build another one. Let's go for a thatched wall this way. Again, holding control and click it. Then I'll rotate it over like so. Drag it up out of the ground like so. And then lean it over like so. Put it back down into the ground. So. Now, I'm almost certain this one will work, because it is going to quite literally cover the seeds. But we won't know until it's built, and then we can test it. So this one I'm not 100% sure is going to work. This one I'm 99% sure will work. So if we click on this, that is considered to be outside. Interesting. I wasn't sure if that one would capture it or not. So this could be the first one to actually work. So I'll remove that and add a stop here. And these are considered to be inside. So that's the minimum you need, is one of the walls leant over, and that will give you an inside storage area. Now, to be fair, I think you can only really store one thing there, which is not ideal. So my recommendation to you would be you go for a small thatched building. Sorry, a small thatched wall. Perhaps. And I think this would probably be the best thing. Oh, that is not what I meant to do. Get rid of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on top, but we're going to lean it over. So we're going to do the same thing, but with an extra piece. One benefit to this, of course, I'm going to say, is that you can place stuff up against the wall. There might be a recommended way of doing this. So build the small wall first, then put your storage in. We'll take 4 storage pieces, then a wall. We'll lean that over. So I think that's the best way to do it. Because you'll know as well. There you go. So you'll notice that the storage things on the floor were red until I brought the storage up to that height. Now that's quite interesting, because that's quite high. Quite a bit higher than I would have expected it to need to be. I will only put seeds in one side, but effectively it's going to be the same. Okay, so these are considered to be inside, so that is probably the least amount of resources you would need to use. But again, that will only cover 2 resources. Now, one thing you can do, lots of people do this. Come over here a second. Let's just whack that down there like that. And then inside here, you should be able to get 2 resources. So obviously, when you're looking at the number of resources you use, a thatched wood is 4 branches and 8 hay. That's 3 and 3 plus one of those. So actually, this costs more to build this structure than it does just to put a roof on the floor. Now, a roof on the floor is only going to give you space for 2 items. So again, I would recommend split wall system like so, because that will enable you to have 4 obviously that takes up a few more resources. Another option, of course, is to go 6 branches and 8 hay and just sort of slam this down. Pretty much as is, to be honest. So let's try and put 4 resources on the floor. It's a bit difficult because it's night time now. You can see there's only a certain amount of angle that you can put on it to allow that to happen. But I think that will allow you to have 4 items covered underneath. We'll check it in a minute. So that costs how much? That is 6 and 8, whereas this is going to be 6 and 6 plus the roof. So 10 and 14. So that is a lot more expensive, but it looks better, I grant you. This is just a single piece and it's going to use a lot less resources. I'm pretty sure that's going to work, but let's test it. Now, I don't need to test the 2 that are closest to it because we know that works. We've done our tests. So all we're going to do is just focus on what we've got. All of our sapiens are so annoyed. They've been sleeping outside the whole time I've been doing this. So I think I'm going to have to get some beds down. That obviously isn't a bed. That isn't a bed. I don't know how to get that back in. Yeah, to store it. Okay, that's good. Store. Take it down. Get rid of that. And then I guess we'll start putting some beds down because there's some very, very annoyed sapiens, to say the least. So, I mean, this will be my next experiment is, you know, how many sapiens can we get in? Right, so this is considered to be outside. Oh, I suppose I haven't built it yet. So I haven't built it yet. We know for a fact these will all be inside. We know for a fact that these will both be inside. That isn't a problem. That tribe has been spotted. Let's grab them because I think I'm going to lose a few people here. Ah, yeah, there's that other issue. All right, well, hopefully we'll gather those flock into our tribe. We'll see, we'll see. Right, 1, 2. Three. Oh. 4, 5. Just try and squeeze one on the end here. I'll do. Right, we got plenty of hay. It shouldn't take more than 3 seconds to build all this stuff.
I found a deal for an item on your wish list. The first one is Top Life Expandable Pans Organizer Rack, 10 adjustable compartments, pantry cabinet bakeware lid plate holders, brown. Okay, add it to basket.
Right, okay, so we got some very basic structures with some beds. Just waiting for this to get finished. that's why it's taking so long, because this guy doesn't know how to do it yet. Boom. Okay, learnt. So that looks to me to be inside, so that definitely is inside. That's the least, the quickest and easiest build element is that. I do suspect maybe that there's like a top and a bottom to this, because those branches at the top to me feel like they're the wrong way round. So I would maybe consider building it like that to be more in keeping with sort of reality, I guess. So something like that. So that's got to be the quickest and easiest shelter to build. You can get quite a few beds under there, especially if you do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I reckon you could get 14 people to sleep under one section of roof like that. So the only way we can test that is if we put people to sleep. Maybe these last 2 won't actually be undercover. So maybe take those 2 off. But we'll test it, we'll see. So anyway, that's got to be the quickest, simplest, easiest build solution. In addition to that, I quite like... quite like the system. Personally, I don't like how you can build a house like this. I think it should fall over and it shouldn't work, but it does work. But one thing I do quite like, say, is the ability to... let me take the roof off a second. I'm just going to go for another thatched wall. It's so much quicker and easier. I do like how you can do this. This has got to be one of my favourite things, is just being able to do that. Am I going to be able to get thatch on there? Yeah. Okay. So by far, this is the quickest and easiest build solution. You can see I've got plenty of sleeping space for people. I've got storage space on the outside. It just works so well. And if you're going to build a house like this, my recommendation is always, if realism is something you care about, then I recommend that you build doors at both ends. That way, should you find a lot more people joining you, or you need more space, period, it's very easy, quick, just expand it. Whereas if you put a wall or a door at the end, then obviously you're going to need to knock the wall / door down, and that's not quite so good. So this way it just sort of works better. But yeah, just a few ideas and solutions, and just a few test models, and just a bit of experimentation. We could do something like this as well. So we put that there. Thatched wall. And that too comes pretty much secure unit. So I didn't get my angles quite right there. You see it's slightly wonky. And it is slightly frustrating that you can't adjust this after you've put it down. No, it would be nice if you could adjust that after putting it down, because quite often you try and put it down and it doesn't work. One thing you could do to sort of alleviate that problem is to go, for example, we'll put a section there, a thin section there. We'll just put that next to it. We can put one at the other end. That way you know it's exactly perfectly as it should be. And you can just get rid of that then. Grab a thatched wall. And it's a way of rotating it on its axes. I want it that way. That way. Yeah, it doesn't really quite do it where you want it to. Maybe a little tricky sometimes. So if that, then we'll have to manipulate it to the direction we want, which is sort of that way. Bit. Actually, probably don't need to come up a bit, because when it rotates, it will rotate from the middle. There we go. Certainly not perfection, but you know, part of the thing, part of what makes this look so realistic, I think, is the fact that it's not perfect every single time. These are obviously these structures that pin together. Obviously, they are absolutely bloody perfect. What are we lacking? Just light. Yeah, that's fine. But everyone's sleeping, and I don't know if there's a way of checking to see if they're in cover or not. This one hasn't even been built yet. Oh, yeah, so she's considered to be sleeping outside, and you can see it's just beyond the length of that. But this little chap here, no such problem. So he's inside. So just a single piece of wall, a single piece of wall like that on an angle, you can get 3 people sleeping under that. So, I mean, that's a really quick, simple solution. If you've got more people, this one works. You can see that everybody here is undercover. Even this guy, who's sort of right on the very edge. But yeah, they're all undercover. They're perfectly fine. Maybe I was thinking it would be nice if there was some sort of wind chill system. So if you had a hut in the cold with a fire, that would be warmer inside that building than a hut without a fire. And a hut without a wall would be colder than that, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I thought that would be cool. But, yeah, a few little structures and designs and ideas. One of my favourite ones, I have to say, is my lumberyard over here. Oop, I'll go through trees. This is just, I love this so much. Such a simple, easy design. We've got a square. We've got a half a pin here, and that leaves us with a bit of a window, which I really quite like. Yeah, I just think this structure looks so damn good, and you know, good for keeping oranges in. They're going to rot in a few days, but they're going to rot in a few days because it's so hot here. We're in a hot biome, so that's the problem that we're experiencing there. But yeah, just a few different ideas and builds and solutions. I hadn't thought about this one actually. I wonder how well this one works. Actually, that looks like that could work really well. And the beds in there could be a little tricky. Yeah. Yeah. You can't be too close to the edge. Then I suppose you can squeeze a couple extra in this side. So that seems to work. I think that's going to work really well. I think they're all going to be completely covered. I wonder, will that sort of work? And it does, doesn't it? Not really going to match up perfectly, but I think it's kind of unique, kind of cool. I suppose, you know, best one. The best hut I can think of off the top of my head right now would be something like this. Yeah, that's quite a cool little hut. I like this one. This one's going to look really kind of cool. Bit quirky, bit different. But again, you know, it just shows the versatility of this game. You can just experiment and come up with your own ideas. And that's what I really like about it. It's almost completely limitless. We've got a whole host of different storage and sleeping options here. And these are just a few that I've thought of. I'm sure you guys could come up with hundreds more. And if you do, I'd love to see them. I would absolutely love to see them. Do we have any logs here? Not really. Where the hell did the logs go? Disappeared off somewhere or other. Take these trees down. Give us a couple of logs. I suppose another theory... Oh god, mammoths. That's bad. Another option would be... So, for example, here, you see we've got a bit of a hill. So, if I were to put... just a thatched wall, actually. We'll say there. We may need to rotate it that way. Be nice if that snapped into angles as well. It's one for the dev to think about. Something like that. And then if I came in here and dug out ground... This is an experiment. I'm just spitballing, coming up with ideas, trying different stuff. And really, I mean, this only accommodates people who are interested in creative gameplay and realistic gameplay. Because there are many things you could do that make all this a lot easier, probably. Just thought of another one, actually. If I sort of went... Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing with this one. So that doesn't snap to it. I won't snap to it in any particular way. But it's not really quite long enough, I don't think. Yeah, there seems to be, I think, little benefit to this design. But again, it's just, you know, it's a creative experience, isn't it? About trying it out, seeing how it works, seeing how it looks, seeing if it's worthwhile, seeing if it's a complete waste of time. Yeah, see, look, I think you could get quite a few sapiens underneath that structure. What's the problem here? No sapiens with mining roll. Okay. Let's do it. Let's grab a couple of sapiens with mining roll. Who's good at it? You. You. Yeah, so this one's looking pretty cool. I think that looks pretty awesome. Sort of looks like a chief's house, doesn't it? I like it. I think that looks pretty cool. I mean, I have messed up the angle at the top there. That doesn't work. But no, it's just a bit of messing about and experimenting. Nothing really very serious about anything I'm doing today. Just testing stuff out. This seems to work pretty well. Another thing I've just thought of, you could go very difficult to build when it's dark. Okay, so that won't let me build underneath when there's just one channel. One level up, rather. Yeah, I mean, that could work. That could work. Let me try this one last thing here. So let's grab some proper steps. And we'll whack that there. I don't know if the ground is flat there. May have to move it. I need a flat area. It's flat. This looks fairly flat. Alright, so we'll build this. Never tried this. Can you attach that? No, doesn't want to snap to it. That's okay. Yeah, that seems to work pretty well. Other than the fact that it's not exactly underneath. That's quite tricky to do, especially in the dark. It's probably closer. So I think that will provide some cover there. And then you could, I guess. That's what's so good about this game. You can do whatever you want. You can build whatever you want, wherever you want, however you want, using whatever you want, pretty much, within reason. And then, I don't know, just creating crazy things right now. Stupid, crazy things. And that makes no sense as a structure, but, but you know, it could be fun. You can just be creative and do whatever you like. In fact, you know, that's actually fairly similar to how some buildings were made. I mean, not for very long, but back in the day, it was quite normal to have a raised floor, especially for grain storage. You know, that could work. Theoretically. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm doing now. I've forgotten about what I was doing and I'm just building stuff for fun. Look at that. See? Little storage hut underneath. Raised properties. That's the next level of building, isn't it? Having raised properties. Probably going to do that in my next build, I think. Come on, lights, where are you? I want to see these things finished off, and then we can just take a quick look round, see what we like and see what we don't like. What might be nice as well is if we had thinner steps. I just had another idea. I've never built a column before. It's my first column. But if I put that... I need some split... I need some split walls. Split wood, rather. No logs. Who the hell is still awake? Oh, this moron. So, yeah, bit of a quirky, weird one, but I mean, it works. All the beds are probably dry. That's a pretty decent one. There's some logs there. As a realism thing, that's, I mean, crazy and out of control. But the curiosity is whether or not somebody can get up there and walk on it. Sort of the fun part of it. Yeah, I don't want steps on the bottom, I want steps up top. At the moment I can't put anything on there, but let's see how it goes. We're going to need a crafting area in order to craft this. I think, 100% sure. And let's just craft some split logs, any kind. And we'll see whether or not it works. So this guy's building the platform. It's starting to happen. She pregnant? I think she is pregnant. So she can't do any of those jobs. What about you? I'm pretty sure you can. Woodworking. Get on it. So perhaps you can't put steps on anything unless it's a big piece like that. That could be what the problem is, huh? It still won't let me put it up on top there. Yeah, okay. We got some stability on there now. Kind of looks a bit more realistic. Nobody walked along that, did they? So have a little look-see and try something else. So, according to the dev, this should work. I mean, split lugs placed as walking, I guess you call them. We're getting a few people leaving the tribe now. Alright, well, let's see if that works. Not quite how I was planning on doing it. I think the logs would make more sense, but still, what do I know? So this absolutely will not let me build on it, which is weird because I know for a fact that you can build on top of a platform. So you can see that's definitely building up there. Maybe it just... Maybe the game feels like it has to have a ladder leading up to something before it can have a ladder leading off of something. I don't know, I can't quite figure out why that hasn't... Why that hasn't allowed me to do that. I'm not entirely sure. Definitely behaving strangely. Let's go with that one, actually. We'll see what happens. I wonder if it's because there's no wall. I think that could be it. Maybe it's part of the coding that blocks it from... This most... Oh, I had it. Did I have it then for a second? Did I imagine it? Yeah, so something I wanted to try and build was like a treehouse colony. But based on this, I don't think it's going to work very well. I think we're going to have too many problems. Sapiens definitely get confused when certain items are on water. Sometimes they figure it out for themselves, but I've seen them swimming around for days on end until they die. Yeah, that's just not allowing me to do that for whatever reason. It may be because these are upside down, actually. I hadn't thought of that.